Published, 2:49 Eastern Standard Time, 5 January 2018. Updated, 5:06 Eastern Standard Time, 5 January 2018. If Mason Crane was an airline pilot, you might not fancy the takeoff part of the journey. As he made his opening foray into Test cricket, his spells were regularly punctuated by him aborting on the runway, stopping in his delivery stride as he struggled to ensure he would not overstep the crease. It was one of the few things to antagonise the home crowd on a relatively sedate day of Ashes cricket, raising the odd chorus of boos amid their team's stately reply. England debutant Mason Crane appeals for an LBW decision on the second day in Sydney. Crane almost collides with fielder Mark Stoneman as he attempts to take a catch, yet by the end of his 17 overs the 20-year-old Hampshire leg spinner had done enough to justify some of the claims being made for him. There was comfortably enough in his performance to suggest that he will not be filed away in the dusty cabinet containing the names of English spinners who were tried and quickly failed. It is 80 years since England last blooded a spinner this young, and his first ball in Ashes combat was never likely to replicate that of the watching Shane Warne, whose equivalent delivery, to Mike Gatting, famously turned out to be the bowl of the century. Joe Root summoned Crane on for the 15th over. By coincidence or not, at exactly the same time a whole bay full of Richie Benaud impersonators, the Richies, tried to spark a Mexican wave just over his left shoulder from where he was bowling. Crane hopes England's hard work will pay off on day 3 as they aim for their innings lead. Leg spinner Crane bowled 17 wicketless overs on his Test debut at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Elsewhere, there was a frisson of excitement as he began his busy, jaunty approach, which resulted in an opening long hop which failed to get the proper treatment from Usman Khawaja. The next ball saw his first abandonment of his run-up before another ball drifted down the leg side. He was perhaps fortunate that his opening 5 overs were not more harshly dealt with and did not yield a boundary. Crane is a protégé of Stuart MacGill, the Australian leggy who always lived, uncomfortably, in the shadow of Warne. On Australian TV, that greatest exponent of this exceptionally difficult art offered constructive criticism, saying that the Hampshire man perhaps held the ball too deeply in his palm. Crane reacts after a close call on day 2 of the 5th and final Ashes Test. Down under, the Hampshire spinner gets down to field off his own bowling during the second day. Was more settled after tea, and while the run-up issues persisted, he was well worth the 10 straight overs that Root gave him. Coming round the wicket to the left-handed Khawaja when the batsman had made 65, he found the edge and was unlucky that the deflection somehow dissected the angle between wicket-keeper and first slip. Root fancied him enough to bring him back for 2 more overs at the death, and there was the sense that he very much belonged, his body language forever positive. Raj Maru, the ex-Hampshire spinner who first developed him at Lancing College, one of 8 independent schools to help produce players for this 11, should have been pleased. It probably helped Crane that he took 5 wickets for New South Wales at this same ground in the Sheffield Shield last March. This time he ended wicketless for 58 runs, but the early signs were that he will be back here again with England long after this series is buried.